and welcome back to another episode of Mind Renovation Nation. I am your host, Nathan Bush, and today we are going to be talking about the three most important factors for any real estate investor. So, I'm excited. I'm excited today to talk to you a little bit about those three things that are so important to every real estate investor, and they are the team, the intention, and the strategy. So let's talk a little bit about the team, the intention, and the strategy. First and foremost, I personally believe, the most important thing for a real estate investor is the team they're plugged into. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory and a little bit of information as to why I believe the team is so important. So a number of years ago, I personally had some rental property that was responsible for, and there was a big tornado that came through the St. Louis area, and that tornado did a lot of devastation. And one of the things it did was it ripped the electrical meter off of one of my rental properties. So here I am walking through the rental property, and I see that the meter was disconnected. However, I did some of the dumbest thing. I walked from room to room and was flipping the light switch on, and I was flipping the light switch off, trying to get the stupid power to come on, knowing, dummy, I'm not connected to the power source. Well, in real estate investing, there's three factors that connect you to the power source. And the first factor being your team. The team is who you surround yourself with, who you associate with. I have a wonderful example of some of the people in your team that you should have. So you got to have a title company. That's important. If you're a real estate investor, it's probably good to know some real estate agents on your team that are included in the direction that you're kind of leading people, getting them involved in your group and kind of the major mission that you have. It's important to have attorneys, CPAs. I think there's really two types of people if you think about who's on your real estate team. So every great team has a head coach. That head coach then goes out and hires specialties. They hire special teams. They hire an offensive coach and a defensive coach. In most sports, you have three different sub-coaches to the head coach's overall plan or strategy. And if you think about your team members, who are those people on your team that are your offensive team members? Your team members that help you drive your revenue to your real estate. Who are those team members that help you drive the revenue to the real estate? Who are your offensive team members? So those offensive team members, like we were talking about, might be the real estate agent. It might be your acquisitions team members. Those people might be your leasing agents on your team. These are people who are helping to drive the overall revenue on your business. The second group of people that you need on your team, those are the defensive team members. People like your insurance agent. Those are your title company, your attorneys. These are people that keep you from, honestly, making major mistakes in your real estate investing career. Your financial planner. Oftentimes, I know it's taboo to mix your financial planner with your real estate investing game, but you really need somebody to kind of be there to ensure that you're not losing unnecessarily important wealth that could be being transferred away if you don't set up your financial plan correctly. And then you've got your special teams. Those are people that I call like your property managers. Those are the ones that you can call in to kind of some messy situations and help you get those different environments kind of cleaned up and moving the ball down the field in the right way. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a real estate investor one time that was kind of questioning the integrity of, honestly, some of the maintenance pricing that we had in our organization. And I had relationships with some of these contractors that would go in and fix up the houses and make them ready and get them ready for the next tenant. So we would send the contractors in, they would give us an estimate, and then we would send that estimate on to the investor. Property management company actually writes the budgets on those vacant properties. But back then, we got bids from different contractors. Well, one contractor in particular, I had a really great relationship with. And the bid that we sent back to the investor was a little higher than the investor wanted to pay. So that investor went out and hired their own contractor. The contractor, the new contractor, came in and gave a different bid. It was a little less expensive. The challenge is that the scope wasn't the same. So the investor approved the budget. And the work got done, kind of. It was okay. It wasn't great work. The work got done. And then the municipality wouldn't pass the home. In St. Louis, see, it requires occupancy inspections in order for the tenant to get an occupancy permit, at least in the North County area of St. Louis, in order for the tenant to get an occupancy permit to be able to take possession of the home. And this particular investor wanted to cut some corners, go out and try to find a cheaper bid, and ended up coming back to bite him. And so I think it's so important that you have those team members on your team that you can trust, that you know. Sometimes you have to spend a little bit more money than you want to, than a little less than you should have in order to be really successful in real estate. You need to know those people that you can surround yourself with and ensure that you're hitting the goals and working towards the things that you're trying to achieve. I often have a tool that I utilize internally whenever I'm vetting new team members that are on my team. Number one, the first tool I use is that I'm a leader in the industry. So what does that mean? That means if I'm going somewhere, those people are going with me to those things. So do you attend local events in your area as a real estate investor? If you do, are you inviting your team with you, and are they coming? If they won't come and be around you, are they somebody that's trying to deceive or separate themselves from you? People who want to do business with me come to the events that I'm going to in order to ensure, number one, that I'm leading and that they're doing the things necessary in order to achieve the goals. But it's not enough to just be leading people. It is important, and that's why I think that your team is your primary number one focus. But the second focus, that the factor that every real estate investor needs to consider, is their intention. So if your team is who, then your intention is why. I've heard it said like this: if your intention isn't first to grow yourself, then how are you ever going to grow your real estate? See, intention is so important. Intention determines where we're going and why we're going there. Intention is your big why. It's your big goals. It's the dreams you have. It's the position, the possibilities, and the progress you want to make. If you want to sit down and think about intention, think about the 3 P's of intention: position, possibility, and the progress you want to make in the industry. If your intention is just to go make money, I'm really sorry, but in real estate, you're going to have a really hard time. See, in our organization in Red Maples, we have a philosophy of the slumlord versus the real estate investor. The slumlord is the one, I mean, you know the slumlord, you know this guy. It's the guy that's just out for money. The tenant knows it. The contractors know it. So he wants everything done cheap. The tenant sees that everything's done cheap. You get a cheaper tenant that's put in place. You don't get all of the benefits of being a real estate investor. A real estate investor wants to make a difference in somebody's life in the real estate industry. And so you got to know your intention. What is your intention in real estate? Have you thought about the position you want to have in real estate? Have you thought about the possibilities of moving an entire industry? And have you thought about the progress that you can make in the industry? Where would you like to take it? And you can think about these 3 things about your life, your personal life, before you think about them from a real estate perspective. Do you know how many real estate investors on a regular basis, guys, I come across that they're a wannabe real estate investor? They're a someday maybe real estate investor. Here's how you know the difference between a someday maybe real estate investor, a wannabe real estate investor, and an actual real estate investor. A real estate investor is putting together their people, their team. A real estate investor is putting together their intention, their intention. And a real estate investor is putting together their strategy. That's the last factor that makes an impact and a difference as a real estate investor, the strategy that you're going to have. So if the people are the who, the team is the who, the intention is the why, the what and the how are the strategy. That's how you put this together. If you want to get started, you got to get started, and you got to start working on these things regardless if you have any money. So your strategy is going to be determined of, are you going to be a wholesaler? Are you going to be a fix and flip real estate investor? Are you going to be a single family home real estate investor? Is your intention to be a small multifamily real estate investor? Or is your intention to be a large multifamily real estate investor? Where do you see yourself in the industry? What impact do you want to make? And where do you believe you have the best skill and knowledge in order to be able to go proceed? So that starts the concept of what. But the how. How are you going to get there? You got to think about that as well. How? Are you going to partner with somebody? For Red Maples, I have a business partner. Our property management company is more than just me. It's part of the team that I put together. So are you going to partner with somebody in order to hit your goals? How are you going to finance your goals and your dream? Are you going to do it through traditional loans? Are you going to do it through owner financing? See, the problem is if you didn't set the intention and think about the strategy on how you're going to do it, then this can get really convoluted and really complicated quickly. If you're wanting to take a trip, it's cool because you can pull out a map and look at where you're at and where you want to be and just drive straight there. But do you know how many people in the real estate industry didn't sit down and map out exactly what they want to do and where they want to go and how they're going to do it and who they're going to do it with? That's my challenge to you today, is to figure out the who, the why, and then figure out the what and the how last. The how last. A lot of people try to figure out the how before they figure out the who and the why. The who and the why. Look, I have a big belief, guys. Everything in life rises and falls on leadership. And I didn't just say that. John Maxwell said that. Leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. And so anything you want to do in this life requires you to become a real estate leader. And so I challenge you today to think about the three biggest factors that real estate investors must consider when they get into real estate. All right, guys, that's it for Mind Renovation Nation today. Have a good afternoon. Make sure you do all the social media things. You subscribe, you smash the bell, you share this video, post in the comments, and post in the comments if you're really considering what to post in the comments. Post in the comments your who, your intention, your why. Post about what you plan on doing. What's your strategy? Where are you at in the three biggest factors? All right, guys, post those in the comments. Talk to you later. Bye.